living for free.
The goal is literally to live for free. This is about to fly over so many people's heads because people can't imagine a world where we are housed for free, fed for free, can enjoy nature and all this other stuff for free. Because we've been doing capitalism for so fucking long that this is what we think the world truly is. But what the fuck do you think people were doing before jobs existed, before school existed? What the fuck do you think we were doing before that?
First of all, why is your camera like this? I already told y'all, it's on site with people doing this. Stop with it. I don't want to see up into your snotty nose, okay? I don't want to see up into your nose. Like, no. At least put the camera, if you want a good flattering angle, at least put the camera up here. At the very least, put it right here. Like, okay, this is the only area your camera needs to be. Stop all this. I hate that. I hate that with a passion, okay? It's a terrible angle. It makes you look crazy. On top of that, nothing is free. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. You can support uncensored conversations via Cash App or buying your girl a coffee. I just want to give a quick shout out to my first Faye ambassador. Shout out to Nefertiti. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you guys want to sign up for memberships or sign up to be an ambassador as well to receive a shout out, the link will be in the description down below. This broad getting out here, what did they do before a job? They did it themselves. They did all the labor. They weren't sitting on their ass filming TikToks. No, you were out there working your own damn field, building your own damn house, watching your own damn kids, sourcing your own damn food, slaughtering your own animals. You were doing everything yourself. Hunting, gathering, processing. Do you really think that in society as it is today that you could have everything for free? Nothing is free because somebody else is doing the labor. Unless you're saying you want to get your ass out there and start hunting for your own food, building your own house, sourcing your own water, purifying your own water, creating your own textiles, creating your own everything. Nothing is free. Somebody has to put in the work to do it. This whole idea of we just don't work, don't work. What do you think? You think people just lay around and it just magically appears? Everything just No, a lot of labor went into it. Nothing is free. People like this have no idea what the world was like before industrialization, before jobs, as she said. Before that, you did everything yourself. Everything.
I'll give you these eggs for a loaf of bread. Even before then, what were we doing? We were taking care of each other. We were going out, foraging together, sharing food with each other, sitting down and talking with each other, enjoying nature with each other.
She slow? Does she really think that folks were out here just kumbayaing it up over resources? People were already fighting over resources. We already have the joke about somebody knocking your wife over the head with a club and dragging her to their cave. Does she really think that the greediness of man started with bartering? You think it just started then? That folks weren't competing for resources even before then? And see, here's the part. Folks that will get out here and say this, we'll work together. They're the same motherfuckers that would sit there and do nothing. What's that dude from Red Dead? That fat one? Is it Uncle? These are the uncles of the world. Oh, well, I can't do this because of this, that, and the third, but y'all go out and get the stuff and then give me my cut. This broad is just like Uncle from Red Dead Redemption 2. The myth of the peaceful savage, exactly. You really think that folks were not competing for resources? You really think everybody was just kumbayaing it up? That behavior just came out of nowhere? Girl, get a clue.
We lived in a world where give and take didn't even exist. It was simply just give. We lived in a world full of givers.
DeAndre said, in order to give, someone else has to take. Or am I tripping? Exactly. What have you given? I would love to know. What exactly have you given? Are you a very giving person? Now, maybe she is. I highly doubt it, but maybe she is. We used to get, okay, well, I need some money. Can you give me some money? Since you're so giving, I'm sure there's somebody out there that needs money that they need it more than you do. Go give them your money. Go give them the food in your fridge. I highly doubt you're going to give them the food in their fridge.
Yeah, you got people burning down the warehouses and being like, give us livable wages. But why can't we just live in a world where we don't even have to use the word wage? Why don't we just live in a world where we quite literally don't even have to burn anything down because we can just walk into an area and just grab toilet paper when we need it and leave enough for the next person.
That would never happen. We already know that people are so greedy that if you were to put up, depending on the neighborhood you're in, but if you were to put up something and say this is for free, folks will take as many as they can and leave nothing for anybody else. Even when it's not free, people do that. Remember back in 2020 when everybody rushed to go buy all the toilet paper? You had folks to the point where these businesses had to limit. You got to understand how crazy that is. Businesses that want to sell out as quick as possible, they want to make sure they sell out of every product. We're limiting the number of barrels of toilet paper people could get because folks were coming in and were so greedy and were buying up everything. Ma'am, that world has never existed. This is some type of utopian, I'm gonna look back at a time where I didn't exist and just fantasize and romanticize about it. No, people been savages. And I suspect it was worse. I suspect that it was way worse back then. We have become more civilized throughout time, but even back then, even now, nothing is free. You know how she's saying, well, we should just be able to walk in there and get toilet paper. Okay, well, are you going to be contributing to that society? Because it's the same folks that want to do the very least, but they want to be able to get everything off of the people doing the most. You see that same behavior with all this nonsense going on in New York City with Zoran Mamdani. We want this for free. Nothing is free. Somebody has to pay for it. Somebody has to pay for it. But they expect the people that work the hardest. They expect the people that plan the most. They expect the people that through generations have climbed their way up. They expect them to then give it all away to people that have not put in the work. Now, I do think that there are issues with the way our capitalist society is set up. I do think that the ladder is unnecessarily hard to climb. There are things that we can do to fix it. But encouraging folks to be lazy and to feel entitled is not it. You still have to get off your ass and work. You still have to contribute to society in some way, shape, or form. Folks that get out here and say this type of stuff understand they don't want to contribute anything. They feel as though them just existing is enough. You feel like you should be able to go into the store and just take somebody else's labor. What labor are you then giving for everybody else?
It's not even a dumb concept because before any of this existed, we literally were just living off the land together. And it got so bad. It got so bad, guys, that everything is somebody's property. Everything is somebody's property. Like, you can't even get a piece of land without having to sign a bunch of papers and talk to a bunch of people and do this, that, and the other. And it's like, how did it get so bad?
But here's the part. Here's the part, stupid. The reason why you have to do that is because people will steal. The very thing that you're trying to glaze is the reason why we have ownership and contracts and things like that. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But that's the very reason why, because people will steal. The same society that she's talking about, you have no protection. Somebody can just run up on the land that you've claimed for yourself, kill you, and then now that is their land. And guess what? Somebody else can run up on them, kill them, take that land, and now it's theirs. There's no protection. With the system we have, at least there's some type of protection there. There's no such thing as it being owned by nobody. Because if I build my house or I, build my domicile or whatever the case may be on this land, I am saying that this is mine. You wouldn't want somebody just running up and out of your spot. Bitch, do you leave your door open so that anybody could come and sleep on your couch? Is that what you do? Do you allow that? Because unless you do that, unless you just let anybody come in, like if I wanted to, I could just knock on your door. Not even. You leave the door open for me. And I could just walk in, eat a meal, use your toilet, use up your, body wash and your hair stuff. We got similar hair texture, so I'm sure your shampoo will work for me. Watch your TV, your Netflix. Mess up your algorithm on your TV and your Netflix. Watching it, because I highly doubt we watch the same stuff, sis. You're going to be recommended a bunch of stuff that I watch that you probably wouldn't watch. Do you do that? Probably not. Probably not. So the very society that you're glazing, you yourself would never, ever be the first one to do it. Be the change you want to see, sis. Leave that door open and tell anybody, hey, welcome. You're welcome here. Come in, eat, take a shower, take sleep in my bed, wear my clothes. It's all ours. It's all community. This is communal. You would never do that. So even the lifestyle that you're saying, oh my God, no, 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 you would never be the first to do it. You want somebody else to do it. What's up, DeAndre? You said no, Sandra. No one would ever do that in the world she's speaking of. Everyone loved everyone. They would never think to steal from each other. Everyone is so kumbaya, and it was just sunshine and roses, and nobody stole from anybody because we just worked together. The whole concept of work and stealing, that's a new age concept. That came forth because of the bartering system. Nobody was stealing before people started bartering. Just slow, loud and wrong. Okay, this is loud and wrong.
What's happening in the world right now is crucial. And people need to hop on the bandwagon of, I shouldn't have to work to experience everything that is on this planet. It costs me nothing to go outside and touch the tree outside of my window. But you look all around you, even the house that you live in comes from that same tree that you can go outside and touch for free. So it's like, you mean to tell me you're cutting down trees and you're making doors and windows and all this shit. Mind you, they're cutting these trees down because they want to make materials.
It looks like you're in a house made with those same trees. Rod, you not true to this. You're not true to this because you're in the very same house you complaining about. Unless you are on some nature girl where you are living off the land and you're out there in a toga that you made of your own materials and you're out there with nature and you did all, like, unless you are doing that, this is all just yapping. You're yapping, complaining about the very thing you're living in. Thank you so much. She's on a phone made with materials from the earth. Not only that, a lot of our phones are made with cheap labor. They're made with a lot of little kids. They use little children to source a lot of the metals and stuff that's in our phones. And there are some tiny parts where they're little hands. They use the children's little hands to create, to place it, because they got the little baby hands. She don't actually mean this. She ain't true to this.
I could talk about this forever. I really could. And I can tell, like, I'm on the verge of, like, I just keep going. But again, this is going to fly over so many people's heads because you can't even imagine living in a world where you don't have to worry about housing. You don't have to worry about literally anything because everything's free.
You're always going to have to worry about housing. Even during this time that she's trying to romanticize, quite literally still had to worry about housing. You weren't just going to lay down in the grass and just sleep in the grass any old day. We have weather. You're not going to lay out in the rain and sleep in the rain. You're going to get sick and die. You're not going to just lay out in the cold. You'll get sick and die. You still had to have some sort of shelter. And it's not free. You have to work. People have to understand time is money. Your labor is money because somebody would pay you to do it. If somebody would pay you to go do what you're about to do, that is work. That is labor. Lollipop Princess, she says, someone hand this lady an application for the next season of Survivor. Would love to see her live off the land. I agree, but she seems insufferable. They would vote her ass out.
I always say, though, this shit's made up. It's all just a game. It's a game. And when you stop playing the game, it no longer is being played.
Let me get real deep, you guys. When you no longer play the game stops. Girl, shut the fuck up.
The world's not going to change overnight. Okay, like, this is like years. This is going to be years of undoing for all of us, for everybody. It's years of undoing. And it's like, what we do right now is so important to how the future is going to look for us.
It's always the folks that don't do shit, don't build anything, that want to tell everybody else that it should be free. I bet if she was somebody that actually built something, worked hard, she wouldn't be saying this. Because nobody who truly worked for what they have is going to say, well, anybody should be entitled to my hard work and my labor. The fact of the matter is, we live in a society, we live in a world where there are people that do and people that don't do, but expect outcome. And that's the unfortunate part. Because let's see. If we did, right? If we did live in a world where everybody contributed, or at least majority of the people all contributed very greatly to the betterment of society, I could see some semblance of this working. But no, we live in a time period, we live in a world, because I believe this is how it is everywhere. We live in a world where there are folks that want to do the least physically possible to get the most. That's why we have scammers. That's why scamming is such a big industry. We're surrounded by scammers scamming, because there are so many people out here that do not want to contribute, but they want everything given to them. Just like that broad that we talked about with the school supplies. She was complaining that the school supplies that she bought was being shared with everybody else. So what did she do? She stopped buying school supplies, expecting other people to share with her. How'd that work? That mom's response is the very reason why this society that she's talking about would never work. Because you had somebody that did contribute against their will because they didn't know. And when they found out that they were contributing, then they stopped contributing so they could get some stuff for free because they don't want to contribute for others. People are selfish, and that selfishness isn't entirely bad. I do agree that there are some areas where people take it overboard, and it's to the point where, like for instance, with the housing market, we've talked about that, how you have all these companies buying up all of the houses and pricing out everyday people from buying houses. I can agree that the system is not perfect, not even close to perfect. But what she's talking about is fantasy. It's never existed that way. Even if we go back to before bartering, you still had to protect yours because people were going to come up and try to steal what you built. You had to protect it. You had to work hard. People weren't just going around sharing every goddamn thing. Even with the native tribes, because they love to romanticize the natives. You have no idea how bad they were warring with each other, how they were slaughtering each other for resources, for land. So this kumbaya society that she's talking about, it did not exist. People love to romanticize time periods that they did not live through. This is a perfect example of that, because that is not real.